Okay, I think we're recording. Let's goddamn hope so. Alright, it's been a while. It's been like a couple weeks now since I last did an update, which is hilarious because I was like, I'm gonna start posting more, and then I was like, I didn't post anymore. But I did find somewhat of a thing. I found a solution. Not a solution, but a different avenue, I would say. So first things first, I watched Primate. It was alright. And then I watched Iron Lung just yesterday, and it was pretty good. I don't know what else to really say. I want to do further in-depth videos on both of them, but those videos may or may not come out. This channel is basically going to be my side channel compared to my new upcoming one that I've got cooking in the... Every time I try to be dramatic, I end up bumping the microphone, so I should just stop doing that. But yes, I have a new, which I will be linking that channel. Maybe can you link channels? I don't know, but it's called Gooseflesh Inc. Gooseflesh Inc. Incorporated. Where I will be posting more stuff. And I'll hopefully the video will be out tomorrow on my first video on that kind of channel. I think it still actually has other videos. My older videos, it was an old channel that I did other videos on, more slapstick gag stuff kind of thing. And well, I don't even know if I'm gonna keep those on. I might though. I might just keep them on just because. I mean, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna be posting on those, and mostly because I was gonna do more in-depth reviews on this channel, and really I just found like I didn't. It was the editing, the editing was too much. I didn't know how to, I'm not good at editing right now, and I just don't want to it take too much time. I didn't want to, and there's just so many things. I think I said in that last video, I think I mentioned that I wanted to read more books, which I am still reading more books, but and maybe I'll get to reviewing some of them because I'm reading a short story collection by Joe Hill, and it's really good. That I picked up in the bookstore, and I was like, damn, these short stories are fucking bangers. But yeah, but the big update is that, yeah, I am transferring over to stories, because that's kind of what I want to do. I wanted to talk about stories, but I also want to actually get my work out there. Also, you may have noticed something odd about me, and that is that I did get my hair cut, so if I look completely different, that's fine. You're not crazy. Well, maybe you are, but I don't know. I don't care. But I did get my hair cut, so handsome boy over here. Anyway, but I just wanted to actually put that out there, and I did want to say that I did watch, because I do movie reviews on here, and like for now I'll do a separate one on Iron Lung, and honestly what I think about that. Honestly, it was good. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. There was things that I thought were bad, that I had like little critiques, but I wouldn't even say that it was bad. Bad things about it. I would say that it was relatively good, and I do want to do actually a separate video on kind of both of these movies, but Primate in particular, I liked, but was not impressed by it. Basically, Primate was good. Here's my take. Primate was good, but there's zero rewatchability to it. And the reason why is because it's just Cujo with chimpanzee, and there's nothing new to that. And I would say actually it's less, because I personally thought the movie was going to be a chimpanzee that went wild, that lost its nut, because chimpanzees do that. They're wild animals. They should not be pets. Like, keeping a chimpanzee pet or family is not acceptable, because it is not, they're wild animals. So, that's what I thought the movie was going to be about, and then when they brought rabies into it, I was like, oh, that's an interesting avenue, but then I realized, like, no, it doesn't mean to say anything about chimpanzees, right? I feel like rabies works best with Cujo, because it's a domesticated animal. It's the family dog. When the family dog turns around and is biting you and is trying to kill you, way scarier concept-wise than a chimpanzee. Like, yeah, a chimpanzee, the idea of a chimpanzee with rabies sounds horrifying. And at times it was. I mean, the horror in it was there. But honestly, when I got out of the movie theater, I was like, oh, that was good. But I mean, if you're gonna go the rabies route, I would just rather watch Cujo, because the actual idea of a domesticated dog, your beloved Saint Bernard, coming after you and trying to kill you, your family, is way more terrifying emotion-wise than a chimpanzee, because chimpanzees go wild and kill people all the time. And I don't care if people are like, no, they don't go crazy, they're animal abuse and all that. It's like, yeah, but that's also, the animal abuse is a byproduct of them being wild animals. Like, any wild animal you have is going to need to be caged, and yes, you can keep wild animals captive while still, like, treating them correctly. There's no doubt about that, but technically speaking, they're not pets. They should not be allowed in your house. They should not be allowed. No. So, like, when I first saw Primate, I thought it was going to be a movie talking about how chimps go wild. Chimpanzees are not pets. But no, they went, no, he really was a family member, and he was family, and why would he do this? And then they threw that all away to be like, actually, he got rabies. And I'm gonna be clear about this one. It would have been so fucking cool. I was talking with my friend after I got out, my imaginary friend, Kovac. Weird little side, but you'll hear me talk about it. Fuck off. I was talking to my friend about it after we got out of the theater and watched it, and I was saying, like, it would have been cool if it actually turned out he didn't have rabies. Like, how cool would that twist have been, right? If, like, because the whole movie, it shows he got bit. They're all like, oh, take the rabies shot. The girls in the movie are going like, can chimpanzees get rabies? Oh my god, he's got rabies. Like, all these things. And yet, in the middle of the movie, when the dad sends the mongoose, I think it was, that bit him, off to a lab, and they say, like, oh, you got rabies. And the dad mentions, like, there's no rabies in Hawaii. I don't know why that would be. I would think rabies could get anywhere. Like, I don't understand. But either way, he says, you can't get rabies. And they're like, okay, we'll test it again. And my first thought was, oh, shit. Like, the whole movie has been gaslighting the audience to be like, he got rabies, but what if he didn't? Like, what if he didn't get rabies? And my thing was, like, if the movie did a 180 and the whole movie was like, the whole thing is he's got rabies, and then at the end of the movie they actually test Ben, the chimpanzee's body, and they're like, he didn't have rabies. He had no sickness whatsoever. And then it could be like, holy shit, he just went mad. He just went fucking crazy because he's not a fucking domesticated animal. You can't keep wild animals in cages and treat them like family. They're not fucking they're wild animals. You can't. There's a way to become friends with wild animals, sure, but they're not pets. Like, the idea of a pet, domesticated cat, domesticated sheep, domesticated dog, domesticated, takes years and tons of breeding and genetics and stuff to get over this shit. And that doesn't even help sometimes, because dogs still have wild instincts, cats still have wild instincts. Like, they're the best a domesticated animal can get, but they still have wild instincts. Chimpanzees are not fucking domesticated. They're not domestic animals. You can't keep them as fucking pets. Like, it's... So, I was kind of disappointed because it leads you to believe it's rabies, and then it almost has an opt-out where it's like, rabies, there's no rabies on Hawaii, you can't get rabies. And my whole thing would be like, oh, that would be awesome, because it would actually tell the audience a story about, like, why chimpanzees should not be pets. They shouldn't. Like, case studies, yes. If they ever get endangered, yes, that's one of the benefits of keeping wild animals captive, right, to help them repopulate in an area, sure, but they're not pets, okay? Especially not chimpanzees. They're definitely the cousins of humans, I'll tell you that, because they are vicious, super strong, wildly strong, and they're aggressive. Chimpanzees are aggressive. They're not like gorillas, of all people, of all big animals, are like, they're chill. Like, gorillas have known to be chill, but chimpanzees, they have turf wars. They they kill each other's, they kill the babies of their enemies. They kill and eat the babies of their enemies. They are not fucking, oh, they're animals, like, this is why it's so much better with Cujo, like Stephen King's book Cujo or the movie Cujo, because it's a domesticated dog. It's the family dog. Like, your kids are around this thing. You pet it every day. You pet it, you hug it, you love it. It's around you all the time. You don't ever think, at least, at the very least, you shouldn't ever believe that your dog is going to turn around and bite you one day. And when that happens because the dog got rabies and you didn't know it, and it was sick and it was agitated, and it starts to try and kill you because it's agitated and it's losing its mind, that's a lot scarier concept-wise, because the idea of a loved one that you trust coming after you, that you have no doubt would ever hurt you, is insane. Like, but with a chimpanzee, no, that thing's not family. That's a wild animal. You can't. So honestly, like, Primate was one of the movies I was anticipating most, because I love chimpanzees in the way that I love, like, learning about them. They're amazing creatures, and they're very interesting and fascinating to study. They are a relative of the human species in a way, a second, third, fourth, fifth cousin or whatever, right? But they are animals. They are wild animals, and they are wildly strong, powerful animals. Like, to me, this movie could have been so good. I would have given this movie like I'd say a 7 out of 10. Like, not great, like, not a movie I'm like, oh my god, that movie was awesome, right? Not like a movie like Joker or like Weapons. Like, Weapons was one movie I already have this movie on DVD because this movie was so fucking good. Like, Weapons is a good fucking movie. So it wasn't like great, but it would have been so good if it had been. It leads the audience into believing, like, oh, he's got rabies, oh, he's sick, this is why he's doing all this, and then at the end they test him and realize he was never sick at all. That the reason he attacked his family was simply because he got bit and was agitated. Like, it can be that simple with wild animals. That's why they say to keep, even domesticated animals, at times you have to be careful, right? If your dog got bit or something, even if it's not poisonous, it's not infected, or it has rabies or anything, if an animal is hurting and you don't know that it's hurting and you put your hand on the pain, it's gonna snap at you, like anyone would. The difference between humans and animals is that they often can't tell you if something's bothering them. So if your dog has like a bite on his thigh and you go to pet him there and it hurts him, he's going to even like bark at you or snap at you. So just imagine, and that's your trusted family dog, right? So just imagine if it's a wild animal, like a chimpanzee, a very intelligent, very strong wild animal. Like, because, again, you can do this whole concept of leading the audience to believe it's rabies. I think that would have been really fine, right? Because it would have been the whole idea of, oh, he was family, we grew up with him, we taught him, his parents abandoned him, this whole sob story thing about, oh, we can't believe he'd ever do this. It must be the rabies. It must be because he's insane. His brain is, like, obviously fried because of rabies. That's what rabies does. I mean, it's a terrible, horrible disease. For it to not be rabies, like for him to actually have killed all his family and everything and tried to kill them in these vicious, horrible ways, and then they find out later he wasn't infected or diseased at all. He had gotten a bite, because like, wild animals go crazy all the time because they're wild. That's just what they are. But also, there can be a catalyst. Like I said, even your family dog can snap and bite at you if you pet it in the wrong place where it's hurt and you don't know it. So the mongoose thing could still be a good part where, again, you're leading the audience to believe it's rabies. You're leading the characters into believing it's rabies because you can see the bite on his arm and he's continuously like, I got a bite on my arm, like he does in the movie. He continuously tries to tell him his arm hurts. But when they're continuously don't realize he's hurt and they're messing with him or something like that, he can just go fucking off. He can just lose his nut and go insane and have this whole movie about this chimpanzee cornering and trying to kill his family. And at the end of it, they find out that he's No, he was never hurt in the first. He was hurt, but he wasn't diseased. He didn't have rabies or anything. The rabies was a false test, right? And they go back and they test him again, like, oh yeah, right when the family is like heading out, right? Ben, the chimpanzee, is dead, and they're like, oh man, like rabies, like we should have been more careful. We should have given him rabies shots. We should have done all this stuff. And then the dad gets a call back, and they're saying like, yeah, you're right, it was false. Like it was a false test. He didn't have rabies, and they're like, what? And it could end just like that, right? A nice little twist at the end, being like, oh, he didn't have rabies. The whole time he was doing all this stuff and they couldn't believe it because he's family. It's like, no. He didn't have rabies. He just was a wild animal going wild animal because that's what wild animals do. So, and it makes it seem like I'm really bashing on this movie, but I actually not. It was decent. It was actually pretty good. Like in terms of horror, I wasn't really too scared. They did a lot of face disgusting gore stuff, which I did appreciate. There was a lot of gore stuff going on, really showcasing how strong chimpanzees are compared to humans, and I did appreciate that because they're terribly strong. Their grip strength alone is like 4 times a human being's grip strength. I mean, it's crazy. And so there was some pretty good horror elements in it. I feel like one thing that I noticed that's very interesting is that I think either this movie had the best CGI I've ever seen, or the person Ben, the chimpanzee, was actually played by someone in a suit, because this movie looked fantastic. Like Ben, when he was running around and chasing people, or when he was up close, like when he's up close, you can see that it's CGIing his face to give him more facial emotions. But when he's in a shot with somebody and he's kind of like, hopping around and stuff, and like they can see him and they're touching him and everything, he's there. He feels like he's physically there, like he's a person in a suit, which I greatly appreciated. Even when watching it in the theaters, it's like, it's not a person in a suit? That looks like a person in a suit, because, which helps, because it makes, like, just, I don't care what anybody says, and maybe technology will get there. I don't know. I don't care. When you have, like, a person physically there, an object physically there, light bounces off it different, the atmosphere in the room is different, like, it's just different. The actors react differently. I didn't care for any of the main characters. They're boring as hell. I don't even remember any of their names, literally. I don't remember a single name. Not even the dad, which was probably the best character. I don't remember any of their names except for Ben, the chimpanzee. And that was because he was the most interesting character. But actually, like, him running after people and him grabbing people and like jumping on them and stuff like that, or running towards them, you can like see the actors actually looking at it, realizing what's coming at them, and kind of, even though they're acting, right, they know that this is not an actual murderous chimpanzee, but it's just different. This is just a different atmosphere when you do like practical effects or actual things, so like this was just. So again, it felt like a person in a suit. Like, even at times from afar, you could almost tell like his head was kind of like jiggling around. It didn't really have a lot of expression on the face, so you could kind of tell seemed like a mask. Again, I have not seen the special effects on this movie yet or anything. I haven't seen any of the behind the scenes or stuff. So maybe this is just really good CGI, but it's the best I've ever seen. I feel like it's the best I've ever seen. And again, even still, I've seen chimpanzees in real life, not real life, like actually me with a chimpanzee, but, videos on the internet of them and everything, seeing real chimpanzees, and they don't look like Ben, to a certain extent. Like, the chimpanzee costume looks good, but it almost looks like he's an infant or a juvenile chimpanzee, because he's not near as big, and he's, a little bit different. So I feel like it's gotta be a suit, which I completely congratulate them on, because it just adds so much. So, like, I have qualms with the story. The characters, again, forgettable. Like, Jesus Christ, can we not get characters that are good? Like, I don't know. I will commend them for not killing the dad, because I thought the dad was definitely gonna die. So I'm glad that he didn't die, because again, he was probably the best character. And I'm glad that the white male patriarch didn't get murdered ruthlessly, because that's honestly, I hate to even bring this up, but I can't not, because they've shoved it at me so far so hard that it's like hard to even ignore. But like so much of like media, I feel like it intentionally shows the audience the white male patriarch father figure gets killed, because of course he does, because he's an asshole. No, the father in this story was actually a good father. He had a good kind of relationship with his daughters. He was deaf, of course, which helped him with his studies and stuff. And he's kind of like promoting a book at the time of this incident. And I fully expected him to die, because the white male character cannot exist in movies. Kind of trope that we've had throughout the past years. But no, he survives. He rescues his daughters too. That's another big thing, is that he saves his daughters, which is something that just seems like a bygone thing in cinema nowadays, is a man at all saving a woman, but especially not a father and a daughter. Like, that's toxic. That's disgusting. Oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean, right? Where it's like, I was actually kind of surprised to be like, oh, he's not only does he save his two daughters, but he also survives. What? Although the main character daughter is the one that kind of deals the final killing blow to Ben. So he doesn't like save her and like kill the monster and all that jazz, which I don't really care about that. I don't care who kills the actual thing. It doesn't matter to me that much. I'm just so tired of like male characters not being able to save female characters, or being punished for it. That's another one where if the male does save the female, again, like I said, they don't survive the movie, because they can't survive, because they're dead. So him saving his daughters, like doing everything in his power to save his daughters, and then also surviving to the end of the movie to be like, I'm sorry that I wasn't there. I'm sorry that I'll hang out more with you guys. I'll try and be there more, be present more, was actually really nice to see in a movie for once, because it just feels like, again, such a bygone thing. So I commend them for that. So yeah, Primate. This is kind of my Primate review, I guess. And it was okay. It was a solid 6 out of 10, I'd say. No, 5 out of 10. It was like because again, the whole rewatchability is a big thing for me. Like, I just rewatched WALL-E tonight. This is Saturday. Technically it's Sunday now because it's past midnight, but I just rewatched WALL-E just a couple minutes ago, and God, that movie is so fucking good. Like, so good. And, like, you could just rewatch that movie over and over again and, like, get this great story out of it. And the visuals are beautiful. And again, the visuals in Primate are great, don't get me wrong, but rewatchability, it's like something that, like, what is there to rewatch about Primate? That you can't rewatch Cujo. And I'd say Cujo, again, is a better alternative because it's scarier, because it's your family dog, not a wild animal. A wild animal going out and killing somebody because of rabies it's not emotionally investing because in the audience in anything, because I don't care how much like humans chimpanzees are, they are not human beings, they are not family, they're animals, they're wild animals. Like, it's just so I would just, if I wanted to watch a movie about an animal, a beloved family pet getting rabies and trying to kill them, I would watch Cujo. And I would recommend anybody else watch Cujo, because it's a great film. And again, it's about how quickly an animal can turn on you if rabies is involved, right? Because it can, Cujo, he gets bit by a little tiny bat on his nose, and they're all like, oh, he looks like he's got a wound on there, and then throughout the movie, Cujo's just gets more and more vicious and aggressive, to the point where he won't even let the mom and the son step one foot out the car without trying to kill him. And it's a great movie. Whereas this movie could have been great if they actually made, because like, what's the story here? What's the story with Primate? Rabies is bad? Yeah, no shit. We got that movie several decades ago, and we got the book even longer ago. So it's like we already have that story, and there's nothing wrong with retelling a story, but at least you have to make it different somehow. Again, I would have liked if they led with it being rabies, and at the end, the twist is that it actually wasn't rabies, that he actually did just attack them out of nowhere, just because he got bit once. And maybe you can have a thing where it's like the dad wasn't there, the dad is the main one that deals with Ben, and because the dad wasn't there at the time he got bit, the chimpanzee got scared and whacked out and just started attacking and killing people, because chimpanzees know when they killed a person. And it would be interesting if, like, the doctor that comes in to try and give Ben his shot, he accidentally kills that guy, and then Ben's like freaking out. He's like, holy shit, I just killed this human, this doctor guy. I've known this guy for years, but I just flipped out and killed him. Because again, chimpanzees, their strength is immense. Like, they could be swinging around happy with you, and then they pull on your arm too hard and fucking dislocate your shoulder, not even intentionally. So, like, the idea of Ben accidentally flipping out and trying to kill this guy because his dad's not there. Like I said, the deaf father is kind of the guy who raised Ben, so his father's not there to comfort him. It's raining out, he's hurt, this doctor comes in with this needle. He could easily kill him by accident, and then freak out about that, and then go on killing more people because he's more scared. Like, that's just a kind of a domino effect of wild animals. The more crazy you make things about it, the more, like, Ben, you could have a part where, like, Ben tries to lead the girls back to his cage to show them that I accidentally killed this guy, and then they see the guy and they scream, and they're like, oh my god, he's gonna kill us, and Ben's freaking out, tension's rising and rising and rising, because, like, again, that's what happens with wild animals, with any animal, but particularly with wild animals. You have to be calm. And, like, a bunch of girls and a couple high school boys, like, seeing a dead person for the first time, freak out, think Ben's going to kill them, and he loses his shit because he's like, I don't even know why they're freaking out. Them freaking out is scaring me more. Like, you could have a whole fucking thing where you can think it's rabies. You can lead up to it's rabies. You can even have the characters considering it being rabies, right? There's actually literally a point in the movie where they're like, can chimpanzees get rabies? It's like, of course they fucking can. What are you talking about? But that leads to them, the characters in the film and the audience, that Ben has rabies. And at the end of the movie, if you could have the twist that he didn't have rabies, this was just a freak accident, like, that would be a more powerful message. It could go with the idea that, yes, animals getting rabies is terrible and horrifying, but what's more horrifying is thinking that a chimpanzee is your friend, is your pet. No, they're not pets. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Primate wasn't bad, but it also wasn't stellar. It wasn't great. Like, again, where's the rewatchability in it other than watching a person in a costume run around and kill people, which is fun, but there's just really no rewatchability in it. And I feel like that's something that people need to continuously, like, I'm excited to, I'm definitely going to get Iron Lung. I'm going to get a video out talking about it because I do want to talk about it. I'm so happy for Markiplier that he got it done, because I've been listening to him since I was a little kid, and henceforth I've been listening to him talk about this movie for years now, and, like, now that it's finally out, I feel so happy for the guy. And I did watch it, and it was pretty good, and I do want to make a video about it. But with Iron Lung, it has rewatchability. That's a big thing. I actually, there's already parts where I'm thinking, like, maybe I should have, like, little things that, like, I would like to rewatch the movie and see if there was anything I missed. Rewatch the movie and catch things I didn't catch before. All of that could be with Iron Lung, because it's a story that's new, it's based on a game, but it is new to the point of, like, people don't know about it. And that's huge. That's a huge thing that, like, script writers out there, rewatchability matters. WALL-E, I can rewatch WALL-E over and over and over again because it has a good message. It's unique, it has a good message, it's beautiful, it's a beautiful film. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a like stellar story, or you have to have, but just have something unique that makes people think about something, you know? What am I to think about in Primate? Nothing. Not really anything. Whereas I'm excited to get Iron Lung on DVD, because I'm definitely going to get it on DVD, if anything, just to support Markiplier, because fuck Hollywood. I just don't, I don't care. Like, the YouTuber movie that came out earlier this year, which is Shelby Oaks, like, that movie was terrible. I'm not going to play the person of, oh, go YouTubers, let's make movies. No, make good movies still. You still need to make good movies. But I'm just so tired of Hollywood, too. Like, I'm so tired of Hollywood. And Shelby Oaks, ironically, had a lot of the problems that Hollywood has in movies anyways. Like, I didn't even know this was a YouTuber production until later, after the movie came out. And I'm like, this was made by a YouTuber? What? Kind of explains some things, honestly. But Iron Lung was actually really good. It was, the production value was top notch. The graphics were insane. Like, it was so much of it was practical. I think there was only a handful of scenes that was like computer generated in that way. Like, there was a good bit, but there was a lot of it that it was goddamn beautiful and interesting story, interesting kind of characters in a way. You know, there's only so many characters. Like, I knew going into Iron Lung it was just going to be a guy in a box for 2 hours. But he still did make it interesting. Again, I'll get to that. I do want to talk about it though. But rewatchability. I can rewatch Iron Lung because I wanted to know more about it. I want to rewatch it again to see if there's anything I missed. I didn't miss anything in Primate. I didn't miss that goddamn thing because it's a simple story. It's animal goes wild, kills family because it's rabies. Nothing else. Right? It wasn't even top like notch horror stuff, because if it's scary enough, I'll buy it too, because I'm like, it's scary enough. It's, yeah, scary does matter. Iron Lung was fucking terrifying. And it still also had good movie and good effects and rewatchability. It's just, I mean, the 2 movies that I've watched previously now in this month have been very polarizing, let's just say. And again, Primate wasn't even bad. It was just, I feel like, kind of misguided. It should have done something different. It didn't do that, and it's just zero rewatchability. So that's kind of my review of Primate. It's kind of 2 things, because I got an update too. But also, I'm going to add this in. My new channel that I have, I did make that new channel, again, Gooseflash Incorporated, but also, I have a channel that I've been putting videos out consistently for weeks now, and I forgot to mention it in the last 2 videos that I made, and that is the Dragon's Thumb. I actually have it up here too, but you can't even see it because my blackboard sucks. It didn't turn out the way I hoped it would look, but anyway, it's the Dragon's Thumb, which I post only shorts, really. I think I have like 1 video that's, but it's mostly gaming stuff. So I have a ton of clips just from my Switch, my Nintendo Switch, that I've collected over the years. It's got like 1,000, almost like 1,500 photos on it. I got a separate SD card for it. There's so much shit on my Switch, and I'm just posting them. I'm just posting them for YouTube Shorts. So if you want to go watch some funny or engaging gaming videos, do that. Watch the Dragon's Tongue, or the Dragon's Thumb, I mean, because obviously it's gaming. Little dragon thumbs. So yeah, I never mentioned that in any of my videos, and I was trying to. But yeah, go watch the Dragon's Thumb too. It's only shorts. I'm only doing shorts on that one, unless a gaming video is longer than that. But yeah, I'm just uploading shorts on that. So yeah, hopefully the video on Gooseflash Incorporated will be out tomorrow, hopefully. And that'll be interesting. And I'm going to continue doing that channel, which is going. I burped. Which is going to be stories, just short stories, kind of things. Short. Yeah. So, yeah. That's all I got to update. That was a lot. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you next time whenever I do that. And yeah, go outside, get some fresh air. It's good for you. Also, chimpanzees are not pets. Peace.